Hello, everybody. Hey, I promised that I'd be talking to you about goals and plans and that kind of stuff this year and how you can develop something that's actually workable for yourself. So, most people don't start thinking about their goals, their dreams, their ambitions until just before the ball drops and they're doing their New Year's resolutions. That's a problem because they don't really have any structure to it. They don't really have any framework with which to put that in. Over the centuries, people have developed different modalities and different ideas. Some people preferred a pyramid type shape where the goal was at the top and the steps to get there. Others used a ladder. I'm kind of a big fan of the ladder mythos myself. But it also kind of aligns with what we're doing. So if what you want to do is to build something, to create something, to think about how you want your life to be next year and beyond. But if you want your year to improve, you kind of need to have a framework because there's this date at the end of January. It's usually the last Friday, and it's called Failure Friday because by then, most people have forgotten all about their dreams, goals, and plans, and they kind of give up. Well, I don't really want you to do that. If you want to do a garden or you want to build a life or you want to grow something into your life, it takes a few steps along the way. Well, one of my favorite methodologies is you take a piece of paper, you fold it in half, just like that. Okay? You take and you fold it in half again, and that gives you kind of a strip of paper. Then you take this strip and you fold it into what looks like thirds. Like that. And it gives you a little bit of a square. So you get all those edges nice and firm. And then when you unfold it, what you end up with is 12 boxes. Now you can highlight these or whatever, but this is something that you can carry around with you between now and New Year's so that we're at whatever party you're at, whether you're in Times Square or serving time or whatever, you have this little square, you can tuck it in your pocket. Okay? So after you have your grid made, there are a reason for the 12 boxes. So there are 12 areas to your life. Those are emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, family, intimacy, social, occupation, education, financial, gifts, and calling. So you're a lot more diverse than body and spirit. You're not the same person at church that you are at the pub or at the school, okay? Or, well, let's hope not. But there's areas of your life, and you put each one of those into one of these boxes. Then you take some time and you think about, am I the person I want to be emotionally? Am I the person I want to be financially? Am I the person I want to be occupationally? And you work your way through that by asking all of the who, what, when, where, why, and how, which I like to call the magic 6 questions. And it basically allows you to fluff that out. Now, these boxes aren't huge, right? So you're just making a few notes so that you can then, I don't know what you want to do. If you want to do one of those image boards or just simply put this up on the wall, with your stuff on it, so that it reminds you that you wanted to work on some things. And here's the thing. I'm not trying to shoot all over you. I'm trying to give you a methodology for you to fill in the boxes, put stuff in the boxes for yourself. So if you want to become your own shining star, you need to have a ladder to get there. Stars don't come to you. You have to climb to them. And the boxes are small, so you want to keep everything, tightly written. So here's the thing. I want to kind of walk you through the 12 things. And I'm not trying to like tell you what to put in there. These are kind of things to kind of get the flame going. And if you want to share this live with people, you sure can. I hope if you like it and love it. But anyway, so emotionally, when you're looking at yourself emotionally, you can compare yourself to others, or you can just kind of go do a 1 through 10 for you. But who you are when you're interacting with others. Do you like that person? Are you okay with how you react emotionally? Mentally, do you feel like you're functioning well? There are exercises to sharpen your mind. There are vitamins that you can take, but are you present? Do you get distracted easily? Is there something that you want to improve? Okay, so spiritually, this is kind of a tough one, okay? There are scriptures I've heard that said, I've not given you a spirit of fear, but of peace, love, joy, and a sound mind. So if you're feeling like you're not those things, potentially that's an area you could work on and set some goals for. Okay, so physically, I'm rather proud of this. I was actually shocked. I went to go get myself a pair of jeans because the ones I was wearing... Hi, Aubrey. And so here's the thing, is that I went from a size 50 waist down to a 44. I didn't think I was below a 40. I said, if I'm lucky, I'm a 46. I was shocked. Okay. So I've lost a lot of weight by going to the gym and eating better and all those other things. And if that's a goal for you, perhaps you could, read a book. Okay. This is tough. So the family area is complicated. A lot of us don't have great relationships with our birth families. And there may be abuse and other issues. But on the subject of family, maybe I should change the name of that to tribe, because a lot of us have accumulated, like some of my friends that are on here, what tribe do you have? What group do you have that you feel familiar with? And when I say familiar, I don't mean like you know them. I'm talking about in a family sense, right? And if you don't have that, do you want that? Do you want to create that? Intimacy. I don't just mean sex, although I'm not excluding it. And if you're not in that kind of a relationship, is there anyone you feel genuinely close to? So let's say that you have a best friend that's having a bad day. Do you feel you can walk up and give them a hug? Do you? You might have some challenges where intimacy is concerned if you don't feel like you can do more than just wave at somebody. Social. I used to have an entire book. I'm such a shy person anyway, you can tell. But I used to have an entire book of friends. I mean, an address book that was just friends, not clients, not other stuff, not vendors, just friends. And I could go many places in the country and many places in the world and have friends that I could call on to have dinner with or whatever. Well, COVID and then the internet, it all kind of like scrunched all of that. My goal this year is to reach out. I want to go and share hugs and share coffee and other stuff. Social. I used to have, what is that? Okay. Occupational. Look, I'm not talking about being happy, necessarily joy, happy at work. We all have tough spots. But the overall idea, a lot of people want to work for me on my Senate campaign because they want to see the world change, okay? There's going to be a lot of work involved in that. And I don't imagine that all of it is going to be pleasant. But that doesn't mean that we can't overall feel good about what we're doing. Do you overall feel good? Look, I don't care if you're cleaning out the poop chute at the fertilizer plant. if that's the occupation that provides you the high enough income that allows you to enjoy the rest of your life, then that's a consideration too. You don't have to necessarily love your job, but you got to love some part of it, like whatever it brings to you. Do you love it? And if you don't, perhaps you need to start working on a plan to change what you're doing. Okay, this is one. Okay, education for me. This is always, that box is really full because there's books, there's things I want to know, there's things I want to find out about. You know, that fits in my education box not very well. It's usually overstuffed because I do a lot of reading, I do a lot of work. I study things because I like doing it. That's a big area for me. And I don't think I have anybody else that I need to compete with on it. I'm not going to allow somebody to shoot on me, although I would love to have your book recommendations. Financially, that may sound like I'm talking about occupation. I'm not. Okay, that's your long-term financial health. So if you're older, do you want to be working fast food until you're 90? If you're younger, what things did you want to accomplish in your life when you were a kid, dreaming about what you wanted to have financially, what resources you wanted to have, where did you want to live? If you're not there, if you're not seeing it, could you jump on that track? Could you go over? Could you revise your goals? Could you work on that? What do you want this year to mean to you? You could have a super sick year in 26. You could. Okay. Now, your gifts. There are things that your grandma and your mom and your family and other people saw in you when you were younger. Are you doing anything with those? Are there gifts that you know of that your friends see in you, whatever? Are you playing with that? Look, I love music. But when I played the guitar, people took the strings off of it on purpose. So that doesn't mean I don't love music. That doesn't mean I don't like to support people who are trying to do good in music. But playing an instrument, not my thing. But I have other gifts that I can help people in the music industry. I worked in the music industry. I had my own lighting and sound business. Okay. Calling. Well, this is hard because most people don't know what their calling is. But let me give you a guide, really quick one. If you know that there's some good that you can do in the world, something you can help with, some way you can raise all of us up a little bit, if there's something you can do, work on that, contribute to it, think about it, right? So those are it. Okay, and the thing about a ladder is it can work both ways. Sometimes you're climbing toward the light, and sometimes there's a flame chasing after you and you don't want to get burnt, right? So whatever your goals are, whether it's the joyous chase to the light or avoiding the flame, right? You can do either one of those. If you want to find out more about who I am and what I'm doing, you can go to timlharris.com and see all my links and what I'm doing. And some of the things are political. Some of the things are absolutely not. It's all spiritual, it's growth. But if you want to find out who I am, you can go to timlharris.com and see what you like, you love, you find. Reach out to me.